Welcome to Buy or Buy. So today we're talking about a legend, a genuine game changer, the McLaren 12C. This was McLaren's big, explosive comeback to road cars, a literal Formula One car for the street that had Ferraris shaking in their boots. And now? Well, now it's become shockingly, and maybe even dangerously, affordable. Okay, let's just get right to it. This slide right here is the entire reason we're talking. A car that cost almost $250,000 when new can now be yours for the price of a nice sedan. I mean, just look at that drop. So that begs the question, right? Is this the absolute deal of a lifetime? Or is it a beautiful, high-tech financial trap with very cool doors? So what exactly does 80 grand get you? Well, you're not just buying a car, you're buying a piece of racing history. It all starts with a full carbon fiber chassis, the monocell, which is insane technology for a road car of this era. Then you get a twin-turbo V8 pumping out 616 horsepower. But the real party trick and, the source of all your future pain is that proactive hydraulic suspension. It's the secret sauce that lets this car bend the laws of physics around corners. On paper, this thing is a world beater. But let's just rip the Band-Aid off, shall we? If you've ever read a single forum post about the 12C, you know that incredible dream can sour into a full-blown nightmare, and it almost always starts with the hydraulics. So what even is this thing? Well, proactive chassis control it's wild. It connects all four wheels with a high-pressure hydraulic system. So instead of clunky old anti-roll bars, the car's computer is constantly adjusting pressure to keep the body perfectly, eerily flat in a corner. When it works, it's not just good, it's actual magic. There is nothing else like it. The best way to think about this is to compare it to something we all know and fear: old Maserati electronics. You know, the kind of stuff your local mechanic just throws his hands up at and says, nope, take it to the dealer. Well, the 12C's hydraulic system is like that, but cranked up to 11. It's a completely proprietary black box. There are no aftermarket parts. Your neighborhood guy can't touch it. You are completely handcuffed to the handful of people on this planet who know how to fix it. And this is the horror movie script that every 12C owner dreads. It starts so innocently, a small puddle of fluid. Then, bam, the dreaded warning light on the dash. And pretty soon, you'll walk out to your garage and see one corner of your McLaren just sagging, defeated. At that point, congratulations. You no longer own a car. You own a very heavy, very expensive sculpture. And what does it cost to fix? Let's talk numbers. A major repair on this system starts at $5,000. That's the entry fee. That's for maybe one component. If you've got multiple issues, well, that number starts climbing fast. And you have to understand, this isn't a game of if it will fail, it's a game of when. Oh, and if you're thinking, okay, I'll just budget for the suspension, no big deal, well, I've got some bad news for you. The hydraulics are just the opening act in a long, expensive concert of problems. So, you've got a cast iron stomach and a deep bank account for suspension work? Great. What else is this car going to throw at you? Well, let's just say it has a few more quirks. Welcome, my friends, to the 12C ownership gauntlet. You see those incredible doors? Guess what? They're also hydraulic. When they fail, you're either trapped inside your car or the door won't close, leaving your six-figure supercar open to the world. That's a $3,000 to $6,000 fix per door. Oh, and the electronics have a thirst for power. Leave the car for a week and the battery is toast. A tender isn't a suggestion, it's mandatory. And the big one, early cars could leak oil onto the turbos, leading to, yes, a very real risk of your car just catching on fire. Total loss. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the experience. The thrill is off the charts, but man, it will demand everything from you. It's a roller coaster that will drain your wallet and test your sanity. And it's not even just the catastrophic stuff. It's the death by 1,000 paper cuts. The infotainment system is from the dark ages. It'll freeze and crash constantly. The clutch packs and the gearbox will eventually wear out. That's another $5,000. Even the engine mounts fail, which sends every single vibration from that race-bred V8 directly into your spine. It just never stops. And here's the beautiful, tragic irony. The car's single greatest engineering achievement, that carbon fiber tub, is also its Achilles heel. You get into a minor fender bender, you can't just bang out a dent in carbon fiber. Any structural damage means the car is likely totaled. A tiny mistake can cost you the entire car. Okay, I know, it sounds like an absolute, unqualified disaster. So why on earth would anyone put themselves through this? Well, there is one very, very good reason, and it's the whole point of the car, the drive itself. This right here, this is why you endure it. For all its flaws, you have to remember, this car was built with a singular vision. It wasn't about comfort or reliability. It was about creating the purest, fastest, most connected driving experience possible. And in that mission, they absolutely succeeded. And just look at the raw value here. We're talking 616 horsepower for 80 grand. That blows its contemporary rivals from Ferrari and Lamborghini out of the water. And guess what? Those cars are still way, way more expensive to buy today. In terms of pure performance for your dollar, it is absolutely unbeatable.
And it's not just about the numbers on a chart. It's about that feeling when that featherlight chassis, the explosive V8, and that physics-defying suspension all come together on the right road. It's just pure magic. For a few glorious moments, you completely forget about the potential repair bills, you forget the warning lights, because nothing else on Earth feels quite like it. It's the moment of redemption.
All right, so it's time to land the plane. We've seen the unbelievable highs and the terrifyingly low lows. So what's the final call? Is the McLaren 12C a buy or is it a buy? So let's get real. Should you, the person watching this, actually go out and pull the trigger on what looks like the supercar deal of the century? You know, it really just boils down to this checklist. It is a hard, absolute buy if you don't live near a qualified specialist. Full stop. It's a buy if you don't have a separate bank account with at least 10 grand in it just for annual repairs. And it's a buy if you need your car to work every single time you turn the key. But it flips to a cautious buy if you have that specialist, if you have a flexible budget, and if you value the raw thrill of driving above everything else. You just have to walk in with both eyes wide open. So in the end, that's what the McLaren 12C is. It's probably the greatest bad idea in the history of modern supercars. It is brilliant, it is deeply flawed, and it is an absolutely intoxicating machine that gives you a $1 million experience for a fraction of the price, just with six-figure problems lurking around every corner. And whether that's a gamble worth taking, well, that's up to you.